What's going on, everybody? This is your review for Braxton Family Values. I believe this is season blah 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 blah. Season 7, episode 6. It'll be right in the description. I want to foreshadow this with well, one, this is the season finale, but I also want to make mention that Tracy and Evelyn do talk in this episode, and I want to save that for the very end, mostly due to the fact that that's going to be the part that I pontificate on. Okay, cool. So it starts out with Tony. She's watching the final cut for her music video, Got to Move On. And pretty much she's watching it for the approval, which they pretty much needed her to approve it right then. But it looks decent. We get to the sisters. They talk about Tony. She tells them they're talking to Tony. She tells them that they're getting a new chef. They're a little bit upset about that because the chef they have been doing a great job. Tracy goes to the door to see that it's their mother Evelyn, so that's going to be their new cook for the time being. She also says in her confessional that she needs to talk to her. Evelyn says in her confessional that this is going to be a short stay. So from what we saw, just one meal, because at the very end of the episode, they had their regular chef back. And she says to them that she wants them to help her cook. And they are thrown completely off by this. They're like, well, first and foremost, we had a good thing going. And the guy that we had, he cooked. We ate. He cleaned. We didn't have to help out. We didn't have to clean up. We didn't have to do none of that. Then she says, the chef don't know nothing about cooking salmon. How y'all like it? Look at God. And I'm like, okay. All right, Mama. And they mock her. From what I was able to see, they didn't help her. But right there, that was one thing that I did like. Even though it was in a very playful manner, I did appreciate the fact that they were able to speak up for themselves in reference to talking to Evelyn, because you don't see that often, if at all. They eat dinner outside with a picture of Tony. And I'm going to be honest, I'm shady and I'm petty. So, like y'all know, I love Tony Braxton. I love her voice and all the other good jazz. I would have had a picture of Tony with her first dose, but that's just me. Yeah, I said it. Tracy says that, she's enjoying being with her sisters, and you can kind of see between this episode and last episode that she was enjoying it, but she was trying to put up a front. Now, when they were at the bachelorette party and whatnot, you can clearly see she wasn't enjoying them. This time around, she really is starting to enjoy them. So, like I said, the therapy is working, and also she's having clear, concise communication with her sisters, which is definitely what's needed. Tony shows up in a fumigation suit. She called it a hazmat suit, which is more than likely what it is. Tony says she is nervous about her B-Day. And Tony at one point had on 2 masks, which isn't unheard of because, like I said, my middle brother, he delivers medical supplies. So whenever he's out and about, he has on 2 masks. So like I said, I know some people being extra protective, which is cute. But her first mask, at one point she sprayed her hands with, I want to assume it's some hand sanitizer, but it wasn't her hands. She had gloves on. I'm like, okay, whatever. Which the funny thing is, her wearing the gloves and touching stuff and leaving, you could have. All right, anyway, some people don't make sense when they in their paranoia. So she sprays it, and then they're like, "Oh, you're gonna put that on your face? It's gonna be wet." So then she starts doing it like this. I forget which sister it is. I think it might have been Trace said that mask is in your panties. I never about to feel the hell out. So Tony leaves. Trina and Tawana talk about. I'm sorry. So Tony leaves. All the girls go to their respective rooms. Tawanda and Trina talk to their respective men. Long story short, Trina trying to get some phone, what going on later on in the day. Tawanda's trying to see where her dude is at. He says that I'll just say he's lying, but he says that he's going to get some food. She's concerned because they made an agreement that he would take the kids, but he says that they're, in the process of doing work. He says there's communication issues, like signal, then hangs up. Tracy talks to her therapist and says that she wants to talk to her mother. Actually, I'm going to come back to that because I want to group all of that together. So the girls end up working out, yet I wonder why the African man that they were using in previous seasons, where was he? I want to know. Okay, I want to come back to that. Tawanda gets her tattoo removed, because her man pretty much said that in order for him to propose, that need not be there. So that's between them. And then they began to sing, Tawanda's getting it removed, the tattoo, which was cute. It was real cute to see that. Them getting back to what we enjoy the first and second season, more or less. Skipping that. Also, Tawanda has a new skin line. And the episode itself ends with Tony's B-Day. The theme is Old Queens. I literally did not write down who everybody was. I'll just say they didn't put much thought into it. It was a spur of the moment type of thing because, yeah, how they were looking looked kind of ridiculous. Tawanda says to her sisters, because Trina and Tracy has said that there's a glow about her, and she says that she's in love. It's something new for her, and she pretty much says that she never felt the love like this before. Shout out to Faith Evans. And she pretty much just says what she's feeling in this current relationship is not what she felt with her previous husband. Cool, whatever. Tony shows up in a beat suit. The girls, for the most part, vaguely mention Tabar, whether it was physically there or in their confessions, but they do miss her, which could have been a part of it. The question comes up for the girls, when are they getting married? That was more or less directed at Tawanda and Tony. They play a sex party game, and then this whole discussion of, I put London Bridge, the Eiffel Tower, what is that? And the only one of the girls there that knew what the Eiffel Tower was happened to be Tawanda. The other ones didn't know. Tony ends up breaking the fourth wall. She says it, and asks cameraman, "Do you know what Eiffel Tower is?" And you see the camera going up and down, and then they proceed to explain what the Eiffel Tower is. And we never saw old boy propose. Now, go ahead and getting to, I guess what a lot of this episode was about. So Tracy ends up talking to her therapist and says that she wants to talk to her mother, and she wants her mother to be a mom and not a mom / one of the girls where she's kind of picking and choosing between which one she wants to have. Tracy doesn't want to offend her with this conversation and wants a daughter-mother relationship, pretty much alluding to the fact they don't have one. So she ends up talking to her sisters, minus Tony, about this, and Tracy pretty much is saying, because they ask her about if she's going to, well, more or less, I believe it was Trina that asked if she's going to talk to her mother, and she pretty much says that she needs to gather her thoughts because she wants to go in it, the right way, because part of it is, and Trina even said we have this strong reverence / fear when it comes to their parents, primarily their mother. So a lot of it is them walking on eggshells. So she's trying to figure out, how can I convey my feelings without stirring up emotions that doesn't need to be said. And I get what she's saying now, let me tiptoe around it, but how can I discuss this in such a manner that it ain't a whole lot of yelling back and forth? Because now there's just some topics and whatnot, whether it's the time or the place or whatever, that the reaction is probably going to be the same throughout. But sometimes it's the how you go about presenting it, leading into it, and then sometimes you have to talk about things in such a way that you're not necessarily blaming the person, despite the fact they probably are to blame, and kind of having it a little bit more open. Trust me, I know these things. Trust me, I know. Tracy also says that she wants for her mother to treat them like individuals, meaning, her relationship with Tawanda needs to be her relationship with Tawanda. She needs to have a different relationship with each of her children rather than, grouping them collectively and even punishing them, or punishing this one over here for something that the other one did. Pretty much misplaced aggression. And hell, I can speak to that. Who the hell just sent me a dang old raid request? What this for? I ain't finna do that. Pokemon Go, y'all. So I had a situation, and moving back to Chicago, one appliance that I never had during my 11 years in the military is a refrigerator, which I was going to buy one, but my mother had her old one in the garage. So my middle brother and I pretty much end up bringing that up here, which that was a pain, and that thing had to be thoroughly cleaned. So they get into it. Don't know why, don't care. Again, that's their relationship, ain't got nothing to do with me. But they got into it. And they're both Aries, so I let those two fire signs do what those two fire signs do. I go to get the last of the items, and she asks me if I'm going to put it together. And I'm frustrated, exhausted, and everything else. I'm just like, I'm just going out to grab these pieces. I'll worry about putting it together tomorrow. And then she literally snaps on me, and I let it happen because I didn't feel like going there with her. But this was one of those where the action that you're giving me, the energy that you're giving me, why didn't you give it to your other child? Because y'all are, they were arguing. He's literally yelling at her. Why he didn't get that energy? Why am I getting that energy? Because for some people, there's always a scapegoat or a punching bag. And I just let it happen. Like, I ain't got time for all this. Because I'm like, because if I don't remove myself from the situation, I'm probably going to say some things that probably need to be said, but probably don't need to come out the way that they're going to come out. Because again, if I get mad and I decide to just go for it, hey, it's fair game for anybody. I don't care who he is. So I do understand that where sometimes a parent or a person, because not always has to be a parent, where things happen, and rather than the person not necessarily taking that aggression out on the right person, but literally giving that person the energy they need to give it to, they hold on to it, and then someone else says or does something to trigger them, and then the next thing you know, all that aggression that's there is now being let off on the wrong person. So trust me when I say I know a thing or two, and we can also equate that to what's going on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Trina seems to be the only one that really gets Tracy, because with Tracy and Trina talking, Trina is the only one that's able to kind of do that whole back and forth with Tracy in terms of understanding what it is that she's saying and even agreeing with a lot of what Tracy is saying. So a lot of the girls, it seem like they just went along to get along when it comes to their mother. And I didn't write it down, but also Tracy had said that she felt like part of the issue between her mother is when the divorce happened, she stayed in Maryland where her father was, and the sisters end up moving to wherever it was that Evelyn moved to. I don't remember. And she feels that could be a part of it, and even said that her mother probably doesn't like coming to Baltimore because of the simple fact that this state is where everything happened, and it might drudge up some other issues. But she feels that maybe they don't have the relationship that they have because of the simple fact that her mother is upset that she not necessarily sided, but still kept that tight relationship with her father. Could be a lot of things, and it's something else, and it is evading me right now that I probably wanted to mention. Meh, whatever. Y'all get the gist. So Tracy and Evelyn finally talk, and Tracy, leads into it. Talking about therapy, how things have gotten better. And then Tracy says that, she's not a little girl anymore, and feeling as if that is always where they are. And in a confessional, Evelyn says she wanted to talk to Tracy, but was waiting on Tracy, which this is all like, okay, that, and I think that piece is more or less from the wedding. But at the same exact time, and I get you wanting to wait for your daughter, but if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 6 months between the wedding and then them finally kind of getting back together. So, and I get it, letting people, cool off, but she could have at least sent a message to her daughter saying, you know what, when you feel up to it, I feel that you and I need to have a conversation. At least let her know that you want to have the dialogue. But not saying anything, I think that's kind of messed up. Mostly given the fact that one of y'all is the actual parent. Y'all both adults, but one is the actual parent. Tracy says that she's not her sister's and she feels as if they always get grouped together. And Tracy also says that she wants to be valued. You can see that Evelyn is kind of fighting through some of it, and it even seemed like it seemed like she wanted to say a whole lot, but the camera's rolling. And she said, and Evelyn says she understands where she's coming from, and reinforces her, says, and she pretty much said in a roundabout way, she did the best that she could with the tools she had when it came to raising her daughters, in addition to dealing with the issues of, what her ex-husband had done, and had even said that if I knew if I was the person that I am with my grandchild, meaning this person, I would have been a better mother. And I'm pretty sure a lot of parents feel that way, where especially as they have more than one child, trying to do better, trying to get it right with the next, because a lot of people are not necessarily equipped to be a parent when it first happens. So and I understand that. Evelyn says that she loves her, and they hug it out. Now, I'm going to say a couple things here. One being, I hope that this was edited to what I hope that it was edited to what we got, because if this is the conversation that they had, it was very, very surface. Very surface, meaning that a lot of the issues that Tracy had, she didn't dive into. Maybe she wanted to just get the surface stuff out of the way and then slowly began to, talk about the things, because it seems like a lot of what they have obviously is over years, and you're not going to be, I'm not saying you're not going to be able to tackle it all in one sitting, but it's hard. And I understand that some people don't want to have to sit in something where someone is telling them that you were a horrible person. These are the mistakes, or these are the things that you wronged me, especially when you have somebody that feels that they are not a bad person, and especially when they use religion as a crutch. I won't go any further than that, because I'm trying to be nice with with this damn review. But if the conversation happened the way that it did, very gloss over. If it wasn't good, I hope there was some healing there. And even throughout this whole entire episode, you can see that there was growth when it comes to Tracy, where it wasn't just her saying it. You actually saw it in how she moved, in her mannerisms. And I partially feel, not even partially, I wish Tamar would have been there, just because for that conversation to have the full weight of it, you need Tamar there. Because there was a third person, more or less, at the wedding, that wedding situation, 3 people. And a conversation technically needs to be had between Tamar and Tracy. But for the most part, decent season finale. I really hope that things get better. And I seen on Twitter a lot of people saying that it's funny that all the girls are getting along and they didn't say the person because people are trying to be cute, but it seems like it's funny that they're all getting along and one person isn't there. Shady. But that's all that I have. Hopefully I did not keep you guys long. I honestly forgot this was coming on today. The only reason that I remembered is because I was in Really B's chat and she had made mention of me always like getting on her to do the review, and I totally fucking forgot. And not even just that, I didn't even have my DVR queued up to record. So you guys would have got the review. But yeah, that's it. So still working on the Pokemon thing. For whatever reason, my software was not working to sync everything. It's back working now. So hopefully, y'all will just get one of them videos whenever you get it. Because I'm tired of saying, I'm going to give it to you this day, and I don't give it to you. But regardless of that, the next videos will be The Real Housewives of Atlanta and Potomac. Don't forget that I do the panel with Mr. Still Standing and friends. So that's him, Josiah, Terrence, Bondi, Niecy, Jamie. That's everybody. I'll be doing that Monday, and then also I gotta pull up. I always forget the day. Yes, Wednesday. Next Wednesday. It's my birthday. Turn 34. Yay, Capricorn season. Capricorn. All right, so that's all I got. I will see you guys for those videos. So you guys have a fantastic rest of the week. I'll see you guys Sunday. Peace.